page 26, formal networking. The third best way that most attorneys find clients is by formal networking. Now, there's a difference between informal and formal networking, and I want to define each one just so that we are on the same page and we know what we're talking about. Informal networking is where you take a buddy to lunch, where you meet up with someone and they say, hey, you want to go to lunch. That's fine. That's great. You should do it. Formal networking is where you go to an event specifically designed to help you meet other people, other professionals or other people that could either be clients or referral sources. Okay? I want to focus on formal networking because informal networking, either it happens or it doesn't, right? So I want to focus on the formal networking. When you think about formal networking, you want to make sure that you follow a couple tips. Number one, you want to join the right groups. I know a lot of attorneys who do a lot of networking, and they don't get anything from it. In fact, the majority of people out there, what I've seen is that networking works really well for some people, and not at all for most people. So what I want to do is to share with you some tools and techniques that you can use. If you're going to use networking, how can you maximize your chances of getting the most out of it? Number one, you got to join the right group. So let's take, for example, the one that we've been using of targeting small business owners. There are a number of different trade associations that that target small business owners. If you go to those trade associations, you want to make sure that you're going to the right ones, the ones where the CEOs hang out, not the ones that the frontline people hang out with. You want to make sure that you're targeting the right group. Also, you want to join expensive networking groups. For those of you who do networking with any kind of frequency, you can relate to going to a networking group and you find that there are people there that basically came for the free drink, right? You know that. They came for the free drink. You want to go to the expensive groups. Why? Because it keeps out the riffraff. I mean, let's face it, if somebody has to pay $50 just to get in the door, they're going to be much more serious about developing prospective referral sources from that group than if it's a freebie and, hey, come and get a drink too. But then you have to listen to some sponsor pitch their wares. Okay? So you want to make sure you join the expensive networking groups. Even better, it's the elite groups where you have to have, say, a member sponsor you just to get in. Those are the ones that typically you don't even need a newspaper, you have to hear about through your network. Those are the ones that where serious business deals are done. If you're going to do networking and you're naturally gifted in that area, you want to target the groups that are elite and the ones that cost a lot of money to get into. Next tip, remember your purpose. Your purpose is not to go there and get more clients. If you go to a networking group with the sole purpose of trying to get more clients from that, you will fall flat on your face. You want to go to a networking group to build relationships with potential referral partners. That's why you're going there. You ever been to a networking group where some guy was walking around shoving his card in everybody's face? Or maybe you've had that happen to you. I've had it happen to me a lot. You know, you go to a networking group and some guy's just like, here, I don't know who you are, but take my card. I'm sure you'll need my services. Come on, are you serious? Do you really think anything's going to happen to that other than throwing their card away? Because it was insulting. I don't know anything about you. Don't go to a networking group with the primary purpose of getting clients from that group. Look at them as potential referral partners so that you can get to know them, so that you can understand what their challenges are and who are their primary clients, and build a relationship with them. Ask open-ended questions. And I've listed some questions in the handout for you. A lot of attorneys say, well, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know how to approach someone. It's very easy if you ask open-ended questions rather than closed-ended questions. Okay? And then you've got to make sure that you follow up and track your results. If you're going to use networking, you have to track your results. Set up a little Excel spreadsheet. This is the person that I met. This is the event that we attended. Here's the follow-up phone calls and the follow-up letters that I sent out. Here's when we met face-to-face. Here's where they decided whether or not that they needed my services or someone else that they knew needed my services. You've got to track your results. because a lot of you attend networking events and you really have absolutely no idea if it's working for you. Right? Am I right? For those of you who do networking, how many of you have set up a tracking system so that you know whether or not you're getting results from that? Anybody done that? No, of course not. Okay? This is fundamental. If you're going to use it as a marketing strategy, you have to look at return on investment. Return on investment simply says, look, if I'm going to invest in something, what am I going to get out of it? Here's a simple rule of thumb. Write this down. 5 times ROI. 5 times ROI. It stands for return on investment. What it basically means is that dollar for dollar, when you invest in any kind of marketing, you should get a minimum, you should demand a minimum of 5 times return on investment. So that if you invest $100 a month, you should get a minimum of $500 back in new client business. That's how you can gauge just a rough rule of thumb on whether or not your marketing is being effective. All right? And many people, once they understand how to create a systematic approach to developing new business, they don't just get 5 times ROI. They get 10, 20, 50, and much, much more. You can easily, if you start tracking things and putting the methods into place and the systems into place, you can get a great return on investment. Okay?